What is going on, guys? This is KNasty3090 here. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going over if Mookie Betts gets traded this year, what are some realistic trades that could happen? Now you're probably wondering, why would the Red Sox trade arguably their best player? It's simple, really. After this year, he has 1 year till he's a free agent. So he's a free agent after the 2020 season. So if the Red Sox want to maximize value in getting something from him, they would realistically either trade him during the regular season this year if they think they are not in full contention to win a World Series, or in the offseason. Could they do something with the Orioles with Manny Machado and next year trade him at the trade deadline and get 30 cents on the dollar, or do what the Nationals did and kept Bryce Harper for the whole year and then lose him for nothing except for a conditional draft pick? I think the Red Sox would rather trade him. Now you're thinking, why would the Red Sox trade him? They're the Red Sox, they can afford him. I agree on that end. So in this situation, this is what I think the Red Sox will most likely do. They're going to reach out to Mookie Betts and give him an offer very similar to what either Manny Machado or Bryce Harper got last year in the offseason. Like a 10-year, $300 million, roughly that, maybe like a 10-year, $330, something like that extension to his contract. If Mookie Betts says yes, you sign him, you don't trade him. And this part is it's irrelevant, the rest of this video. However, Mookie Betts has made it pretty obvious he wants to go to free agency. He may not like Boston. Maybe he wants to maximize his earnings. Either way, that's his right as a player to do that. So if the Red Sox, if Dave Dombrowski and Red Sox front office go to Mookie Betts, give him that offer, and he says, I'm not going to accept it, I think the Red Sox should then tell him, we're going to actively looking to potentially trade you. I don't think the Red Sox should just trade him to trade him, but if you put him out there, get some feelers, some teams can offer you a really good haul, and I'm going to go over some trades that it could happen. Now, I will tell you guys which one I think is the best one at the very end of this video. I want to hear in the comments down below, which trade do you think makes the most sense from either the Red Sox side or the team that acquires Mookie Betts in any trade. Alright, so the first one is with the Chicago White Sox. And you're thinking, why would the White Sox want him? Because they're not really in contention this year. And that is kind of true. It's not really for this year, it's for the future. Now, this past offseason, the White Sox went big after Bryce Harper and Machado. They struck it on both. So maybe they're thinking, we'll give Mookie Betts whatever he wants. Maybe Mookie Betts just doesn't want to be in Boston. He goes to the White Sox. If Mookie's like, I want a 10-year, $400 million deal, and the White Sox are like, you know what? We want you here. We're going to give you that insane contract. So they're thinking, we'll get him for a year and a half early, and we're going to have to give up some prospects. Now, it starts off with Lucas Giolito, who's been having a very good year. This one hurts a lot for the White Sox, so they don't have a lot of great pitching in their farm system. They do have Kopech, who's coming back. Dylan Cease, who I think just got called up. But Giolito looks to be like a star. So that one, it might be tough for them to give up. Maybe they give up someone else, but the Red Sox are going to have to get something back. If the Red Sox are trading Mookie Betts, maybe they want to get something for this year and for the future. Giolito gives them a starter that they could need. And then I'll put in Andrew Vaughn, the number 2 pick in this year's draft. Now, the thing with Andrew Vaughn is you can't really see on this, but in real life, he's kind of positionless. He's either a first baseman or a DH. He has a great bat, but if sometimes the bat doesn't play with these guys, and if it doesn't, he's not going to make it to the majors. He doesn't play defense. So it's literally his bat only. So he's more like a DH. So him being in the American League with the White Sox or the Red Sox makes sense. But he is kind of, even though he's a second overall pick, it could be a little iffy if they can keep him. Or excuse me, if he can turn into a great player. And the third piece, the Red Sox obviously want to get an outfielder back. And Luis Robert, or I think it's Robert. It could be Robert, but I think it's Robert. You get him. He's actually having a really good year this year after struggling last year. He's still only 21. There are other outfielders that they have. Basabe, who was a Red Sox farmhand, could be on it. But there are other guys. I mean, Eloy is obviously off the table. Blake Rutherford maybe, but the big one would be Robert. Now, the White Sox are giving up a lot for it, but like I said, the White Sox whiffed in free agency. Maybe they can get Mookie Betts and sign him now so they don't have to worry about any other team. But this is one of the offers you could potentially see. The next one would be really interesting because it's with the Angels. Now, the Angels obviously have Trout, they have Ohtani. They have some good players, but they are not a playoff team yet. But maybe they think they get Mookie Betts, pair him with Trout. They obviously have a big wallet. And in this deal, the Angels do shed some money. But the Red Sox get an outfielder that can help them this year in Justin Upton. Is he a great player? No. Is he a very good, serviceable player? Yes, he is. You can plug him in the outfield. And the thing is with Mookie Betts, you can play him in left, center, or right. I think if you play him in left, you're kind of wasting his defense. but that's kind of a good thing. Like, he's not a guy you have to put in a corner outfield. He can play center if you need him to. But they have Mike Trout. So then obviously Trout would play center. Mookie would probably play right here. But the Red Sox get Justin Upton, who can help him this year. Not as good as Mookie Betts, even though Mookie Betts isn't having a great year he normally does, or what he did in his MVP year. But Mookie can get hot for 2 months and carry your team. He really can. Now in this trade, the Angels are giving up a lot. They also give up Joe Adell in this offer, who is a great prospect. Seems like a big prospect. I don't think the Angels would want to deal him, but if you get Mookie Betts, you might give up Joe Adell. And the third player, Kevin Mighton. Now, he is a prospect. He has superstar potential, but he could be a guy who never makes it to the majors. He's kind of a wild card. Now, if you want, he's kind of like the third piece. If you want to sub in someone else, like Jeremiah Jackson or Brandon Marsh, Jordan Adams instead of Mighton. But I think if the Red Sox were going to do a trade with the Angels, they need Joe Adell in that trade. And I'll put Justin Upton in because money-wise, it makes sense, and then it gives the Red Sox someone they can play right now in the outfield. Now, this is a fun one because I didn't think this trade makes a lot of sense, but then I realized Billy Beane gets kind of crazy around the trade deadline. And if the A's really wanted to win, go in, maybe they do this. They trade Matt Olson. The Red Sox they don't really have a first baseman in the future. Matt Olson's a really good young first baseman. Sean Murphy, who I know they don't want to trade, but if you get Mookie Betts and take a look at prior history of what Billy Beane has done. Look what he gave up for Matt Holliday, Cargo, and others. And then Luzardo is a pitching prospect, because the Red Sox don't have a ton of big-name pitching prospects. This is a lot. I actually think this is a bad trade for the A's, and if the Red Sox got this offer, I think it would be a great offer for them. And I'm only including this because Billy Beane does go nuts at the trade deadline if he really wants a player. I mean, if they give up Matt Olson, that's a big piece. But then the other two guys are prospects. Who's better right now? Matt Olson or Mookie Betts? Clearly Mookie Betts. So if the A's want to win right now, go get Mookie Betts. Prevent him from going to a team in the division like the Astros or the Angels. You get them. You do give up some prospects, but they are prospects. But then the Red Sox also get a guy ready-made, can play right now, and they do need a first baseman. So Matt Olson would be a good piece for them. Speaking of the American League West, we go to the Rangers now. I feel like the Rangers could put together a solid package. Starts with Nomar Mazara. Now, as a Red Sox fan, I would love to get Joey Gallo. I just don't think that would happen. But you can get Mazara, who's still only 23. And then also some other prospects. Leota Tavares, who's one of the best prospects in the Rangers system. And Willie Calhoun. You get a couple guys who can hit. Calhoun can hit. He might be more of a DH. I'm not sure if he'll ever be a great fielder, so he might be more so as a DH, but Tavares seems to be a really good young player. And then you get Mazara, who could sub in for right field. He's not as good as Betts. This is really, if the Red Sox were going to do this trade, they're really kind of punting on this year, saying we want to kind of rebuild for the next 5 years and get Mazara, and then you get two good young prospects. As a Red Sox fan, I don't love this one because you're not getting a ton back that helps you this year, but it may help you out in the future, long-term down the road. Now, this trade's interesting. With the Houston Astros, it's the Astros. The Red Sox and Astros have played the last 2 years in the playoffs, but maybe the Astros are looking at the Yankees and it's going to be tough to catch them. We need another bat. Now, they would trade Yordan Alvarez, who's amazing right now. However, he's not going to be this good moving forward. He's just off to a great start. He is a very good, promising young player. He's only 21. He has a lot of power. He's not the best pure hitter, but a ton of power. He's not the best fielder at either way, but an amazing power. And the Red Sox don't have a lot of power on their major league team, other than JD Martinez, really. Chavis and Devers could develop some, but Alvarez would have more power than them right now. The Red Sox also get a pitching prospect in Whitley, who I'm super high on, which I would love this to get for the Red Sox. You get Forrest Whitley. Maybe you can't get him. Maybe you have to get Bukakis or Martin or someone else. Solis is a guy that, they have a lot of prospects, the Astros do. And then I put in Seth Beer, just a third piece. If you want to set out Seth Beer for a guy like Miles Straw, Derek Fisher, that makes sense too. But I think Alvarez and a big-time pitching prospect, I think could get the deal to work. The Red Sox would trade with a team that played in the playoffs twice. Again, kind of punting on this year. But if the Red Sox can get a big-time hitting prospect and a pitching prospect and a third prospect for Mookie Betts, I think that wouldn't be that bad of a deal. And then the Astros, they're kind of going all in for this year and next year, while they still have Verlander, who's still very good pitcher. Obviously, Cole's a free agent after this year, but that gives them another amazing bat to go against that insane Yankees lineup. All right, now we're going to the National League, and apparently Mookie Betts is a Braves fan. I've heard people tell me this. Now, I don't know for sure. He grew up in Tennessee, so maybe that would make sense. So maybe the Braves are thinking, you know what? We have money to spend because the contracts we gave to Albies and Acuna are so team-friendly. We can go a little bit higher for Mookie Betts. I kind of mentioned that when that Francisco Lindor trade they'll spend a little bit more on Lindor because they're paying so little for Albies and Acuna. Now, in this deal, they give up Austin Riley, who's a really good outfielder. You hope he turns into Mookie Betts. So, like, best case scenario, Austin Riley turns into a player as good as Mookie Betts. And then 2 pitching prospects. I would put in Kyle Wright and Ian Anderson. If you want to take out Kyle Wright and put in, I think Kyle Wright's probably the best one here. If you want to step out Ian Anderson and put in Bryce Wilson or Kobe Allard, something like that, you can. Or Gohara. But I think the Red Sox would like 2 of those young pitching prospects that the Braves have. Obviously, they're not going to get Soroka or Max Fried. Something like that they couldn't get. Maybe they get Fulton Newitz. I probably said his name wrong. I can never get his name right. I know he just got sent down to the minors. But maybe they could get him. Like I said, Soroka, I feel like is off limits for the Red Sox. But the Braves only trade one guy really who's on the major league team right now who's a player for them who just got called up. And they can really go all in this year and next year at least with their young core and try to win a World Series. All right, now we're going to Philadelphia, and this trade I don't love as a Red Sox fan because you're getting really one big-time prospect, but in this trade, I think it would help the Phillies a ton. Abdul Herrera would be like the outfielder the Red Sox get to help them right now in moving forward. The thing with Herrera, he is locked up long-term through 2023, so the Red Sox get a controllable outfielder. Obviously not as good as Mookie, but it's not even close, but there is an outfielder you get. And then you get Alec Baum, who is killing it right now in Double-A, hitting a home run like every other game. He's a big-time prospect. He is a third baseman, but like I said, with prospects, it doesn't matter if you get a bunch of the same position. Eventually, you'll figure out which ones you want, and usually these guys can play different positions once you get to the majors. For instance, the Red Sox had Chavis and Devers. Well, Chavis' bat was ready. They moved him to second base because he was a third baseman as well, and then they moved him to first base. So it's like you can move guys around once you get to the majors if the bat plays and Baum's bat plays. And then I put in a pitching prospect. I put in on this one De Los Santos, but you could put in Medina as well, or even like Jojo Romero I'd be okay with. Spencer Howard not as much, but you know what I mean, like a third pitching prospect. But the big player here would be Baum, and you get Herrera. The reason why I kind of like Herrera is because he is locked up long term, so the Red Sox and their end would be like, we get a guy for the next 4 years after this year under team control, which is nice. And I mean the Phillies would have Harper and Mookie Betts really going after. I mean, that would maybe put them over the Braves to win that division. It would be a big ad for them. Now we're going to the Dodgers, and I could see the Dodgers doing something crazy because the last 2 years they've lost in the World Series. So they might give up a lot trying to win now. Now in this trade, the Red Sox get an outfielder who can play for them right now in Jock Peterson. You could even put in, obviously not Bellinger, Verdugo. I like Verdugo more than Jock Peterson. I feel like the Dodgers wouldn't trade Verdugo. But if I'm a Red Sox, if I could pick between the two, I'd take Verdugo over Jock. 1, he's younger. 2, he has more years under team control. And 3, I think he's better. But either way, you get an outfielder who can help you right now. And then I put in Keibert Ruiz, who's one of the best catching prospects in baseball. So the Red Sox get a young catcher because right now they have Christian Vasquez who's having a very good year. Maybe in 2 or 3 years, Ruiz is ready and he could be a star. And then I put in Dustin May as like a starting pitching prospect. If you want to put in Yadier Alvarez or someone like that, they don't have a lot of other young guys. I mean, Urias, who's now kind of like a reliever. But if you want to put in Urias in there, I guess you could. But the big piece would be Keibert Ruiz. I think he can be a star. And then you get a ready-made outfielder in either Jock or Verdugo. And the Dodgers get a chance to finally get over that hump. They've won 6 straight National League West. Can they finally win that World Series? Maybe Mookie puts them over the top. Now we got another fun one here with the Padres. Here's the thing. The Padres have an amazing farm system. They just spent a lot of money on Machado. They could be thinking, yeah, we got the prospects to go get Mookie Betts, and we're still going to have an amazing farm system. Now, in this trade, they trade Franmil Reyes, who the Red Sox could then put right in the outfield to sub in for Mookie Betts right now. You get Luis Urias, a second baseman for the Red Sox. Maybe Chavis ends up being a first baseman down the road. The Red Sox need a second baseman because Pedroia is probably never going to play again. You get Urias, who's I like him a lot. For some reason, they're playing him in the minors right now. I don't understand it. And you get a big-time pitching prospect in Mackenzie Gore. Now, the Padres are giving up a lot on this, but they're probably thinking, we can give up Mackenzie Gore because we got Cal Quantrill, we got Michael Baez, we got Ryan Weathers, Patino, Logan Allen, Morjan. Like, they even have Anderson Espinosa, who I'm not sure if he'll ever make it to the bigs because of arm problems, but they have so many pitching prospects. They can give up on one to get Mookie Betts. And they also give up, the right fielder in Reyes, but then you sub in Mookie Betts. And then Urias, who, I don't know, they must not love him if you're playing him in the minors right now over Ian Kinsler. I don't get it. But that would be an interesting trade. But not my favorite trade for both teams. This next trade, I think, makes too much sense not to do it. Now before I go any further, guys, if you did enjoy this video, please drop a like on it. And if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button if you want more videos like this. If you want a player for me to do like a 10 teams they could get traded to, put that player in the comments down below. I'll try to make a video for you guys as quickly as possible for that player. But I think it makes most sense if the Mookie Betts gets traded to the Cubs. Couple reasons. One, the Cubs are in a win now mode. Two, the guy who drafted Mookie Betts, Theo Epstein, in 2011. He then left after the 2011 season to go to the Cubs. Three, they're in a win now mode, and they're in the National League. So like the Red Sox would be like, okay, we're not going to have to worry about Mookie Betts. He's in the National League. He's not like in the American League. So in this trade, the Cubs give up Nico Horner, who's one of their best prospects. He's a shortstop prospect, but down the road, you never know. If you're a shortstop, you can normally play second, you can normally play third, or even outfield if you're that like athletic. So the fact that the Red Sox have Bogart selected long term, don't worry about it. Nico Horner, he seems to be like a really good prospect. The Red Sox also get Ian Happ, who's in the minor. I think he's still in the minors right now. He's still only 24. Give him time to play. But the Red Sox also get a guy who can help them right now in the majors. That's Kyle Schwarber. Now, I think Kyle Schwarber is a terrible defensive player. You throw him in left field at Fenway. Manny Ramirez played left field in Fenway. If Manny Ramirez could, Hanley Ramirez he was terrible. But I think Schwarber could be better than Hanley Ramirez in left field. You could then, as a Red Sox, move Jackie Bradley to center or right, or Benintendi to center or right. So the Red Sox could get their defense to work. And I think long-term Schwarber will eventually be a DH. Maybe you can then have Ian Happ play one of those outfield, Schwarber play your DH. And the Red Sox get a big-time prospect in Nico Horner. And they get someone who can help them now, the Red Sox and Schwarber. He's not as good as Mookie Betts, but he's younger. You get a couple prospects. And the Cubs get Mookie Betts, try to win that division over the Brewers. And you also got the Cardinals in the mix. But, yeah, I think this is the best trade thing for both. The Red Sox get a big-time hitter in Schwarber, a guy who was a big prospect. He's kind of selling, you would be buying him low, and Ian Happ, and then Nico Horner, who seems to be a good prospect. Theo gets the guy he drafted, and a chance to win that second World Series for the Cubs. So that would be my number one choice for both parties involved. Which one do you guys think was the best one for each party, for each team, the Red Sox or whatever team? And if I included your favorite team, let me know in the comments down below. But guys, I'll talk to y'all later. Take it easy. Peace.